All right, so I've reviewed over 100 agency offers. I've also worked with over 20, 6, 7, even 8-figure agency owners. And many of them are making millions and millions per year. And many of these millions come from the offer that I work with them one-on-one to build and run in acquisition systems. So what I want to do in this video is share all the things that I've learned so that you can apply this to your own offer or build out a new one that's going to allow you to book meetings, sign clients very easily. But also, because I care about you so much, I'm going to include how you can use this new offer to streamline your delivery, your operations, and have a better time in business overall. So firstly, if you don't know who I am, my name's Ethan Welby, co-founder of Agency Growth Partner. We've been, working with tons of agency owners, building out acquisition systems to help them increase their revenue. If you want more information, you can just check the description. But otherwise, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to emphasize about the best offer, we need to figure out what is an offer. An offer is simply what you present to the market for your business. So a service is different from an offer. A service is what you do. A service is ads or email marketing or roof cleaning, whatever it might be. That's the service. But the offer is the presentation of this service. So for many people, their offer is just their service, right? They don't do anything special. They don't put any guarantees. They just say, hey, I clean roofs. You want your roof cleaned? And that's their offer, right? So an example of an offer versus a service is that the service that we do is probably 1,000 different things, but running the acquisition campaigns, speaking to the CEO directly, training their sales team, all these things, that's the service. But the offer is that we increase their revenue by this amount in this time frame because of all the things that we do. So the presentation is different, and the presentation is key. Now, if we understand this, if we understand that in order to get attention from the market, we need the absolute best presentation, we need the absolute best offer, then it comes to say that in order to have the best presentation, it needs to be specialized to the person we're speaking to. Because the best presentation to someone would be completely useless to another. If someone offered to clean my roof, I would say, I don't really care, right? I don't have a house, whatever. So it needs to be specialized to the person that you're speaking to. Now, every single person has their own needs, their own desires, their own things. So I'm going to show you how you can utilize this, or how you can actually use this to your benefit. So the example I always like to give is that the best messages, the best offer, they're effective because they're specific, right? So if, let's say, you were in a crowd of people, here comes my drawings. If you were in a crowd of people, right, just all these people, all the things, and you're walking and someone shouts your name, right? Someone shouts your name, you're going to pay attention, right? You'll be walking, you could be on your phone, you could be talking on the phone, you could be, listening to something, and you will still pay attention. You'll be like, hey, who called me, right? Because it's specific to you. Now, it's the exact same in business, right? Except we're not using your name, we're using prospects' pains and desires, right? Understand this. So instead of getting their attention by calling the name, we're getting their attention by calling out the pain points that they're feeling or the desires that they want to be feeling. So, like I said, the same applies, but we're using their problems, their pains, and their desired outcomes. So, again, what I have over here is that it's a dichotomy. It's not a binary thing. It's not, is it like a yes or no? The way it works is that, for example, if someone called your name directly, right, it's going to get your attention 100%. But if someone said, hey, tall guy, and you're a tall guy, then you're gonna pay attention, probably not 100%, because there's a lot of other tall people, right? So you'll pay attention, let's say 50%, right? And compare this to them calling your full name and, your birth date, whatever it might be, that would be 100% attention. So the same with business. It's not a yes or no. Are they paying attention? Are they not? It's to what degree are they paying attention? To what degree are they interested? So in terms of their pains and problems, the more specific that you can get with their pains, with their problems, with their desired outcomes, the more they'll pay attention to you. So in the agency space, because we help establish agency owners, what we could do is say, hey, we'll get you bookings. Let's say that'll get 10% attention. But then we go a step further. I say, hey, we'll help you sign clients. They're like, oh, that's even better. 30% attention. Then I say, okay, we'll help you sign not only just clients, but the highest paying clients that want to work with you for a long time. Then they're like, oh, okay, that's even better. 50% attention. Then it goes a step further. We'll help you do this on a completely done for you basis. So you don't even have to be involved in the acquisition process. Then it's like, okay, 70% attention. And the higher that we can go on this scale is the more attention we'll get, but also the more resonance we'll have with the market. So when you do get onto a call with them, the fact that you can name their specific desires will just make it very easy to sell. So that is why people, they say pick a niche, because you understand the niche over time and you learn all the things that they want to hear. So a common pain that I hear with agency owners is that, they have all these foundations, they have the case studies, they have the systems, but they're just not getting clients. And they're like, why? Then I tell them, hey guys, you don't have an acquisition system. You don't have a way to proactively get in front of your ideal prospects every single day so that you can make the sales. So in your offer, you need to, and when I say the offer, I don't just mean your outreach message. I mean the entire presentation of your business. In your sales calls, these are the things you talk about. In your outreach, these are the things you talk about. In your marketing, these are the things you talk about. Everywhere, right? Everywhere you talk about this. So I'll show you how you can apply this specifically later on, but this is just a high level understanding. So it needs to be super specific to the person that you actually want to speak to. So it requires you to pick a niche. It requires you to pick one person that you want to work with more than any other. And usually this is your best case study, right? Next, streamline delivery and better results. So because we're specializing, because we're picking one person to speak to at this moment, as opposed to trying to work with every single person that has a bank account, when we have this, you'll get better results because you'll only work with one thing, right? Imagine for your agency, for your business, you had to work with a different person every single time and you had 50 clients, a different person every single time. So you have to figure out how to deliver for this new person every single time. Imagine how long that'll take. So compare that to only working with one and doing that 50 times. When you get to like the second client, you'll be like, gosh, I've done this so many times. Let me just copy and paste it for you. And that's actually what happens if you pick a niche, if you specialize, if you're specific, right? And the same applies not only for delivery, but also in your marketing message, even in your sales process. Because if you've sold the same thing 50 times, it's like, guys, just say the same things over and over and you're going to make the sale because you've seen it happen. So this is why the best offer is completely specialized. It's extremely specific as to who you're helping. Thanks, Grammarly. And it just results in you having the best business experience and business being very streamlined, very organized, right? So the delivery process is easy. Because it's easy, right? Because there's not a lot of complexity, there's not a lot of moving parts and, ads for this guy and content creation for this guy and, clean this guy's roof. Because it's just one thing over and over and over, you require less team members. So you're paying less, less in labor, but they're having an easier time because everything is just laid out. There's a procedure for everything. Delivery is copy and paste because you're doing the exact same thing for the exact same person over and over and over. And the results are better because every single new client that you take on, you learn something new, you improve and you get better. So there's no downside. And then thirdly, enhance feedback loops. Now, a feedback loop, I'll show you what a feedback loop is. Feedback loop, right? So all it is, here it is. So when you take an action, you get new results. You see if the results are, relevant to the situation. It's just a loop of cause and effect. You take an action, you get results. The results are new. It changes the action you take, and it just goes over and over and over. So you can think of this as a feedback loop for your learning, the results that you get. So it's like you take action, you sign a new client, you try to deliver results, you see what the outcome is. The outcome is good, right? And then you use this. So the outcome is good and you learn new things, right? So you learn new things and then you use these things, all these insights, all this information in your sales to acquire new clients. You say, hey, we tried this recently. This is going very well. Let me do this for you. you get new clients with this, you acquire more, take another action, just do it over and over and over. Now, it's a bit of a messy example, but the point is that the more times you do something, the better you get. So if you tie your shoes over and over, it gets to the point where it's automatic, right? You're not thinking, how am I going to tie my shoe this morning? No, it's like, no, you just sit down, you're like drinking your coffee in one hand, tying it, doing some random stuff at the same time, and it's tied. So it becomes automatic. So the same applies with business. If you're doing the exact same thing over and over and over, it becomes automatic, right? So again, it's great. And because you're doing the same thing for the same person every single time, you get more ideas, you solve additional problems, and you can raise your prices and get paid more. Because when you're working on 1,000 different things, none of those things can get your full attention. And this is why I really emphasize focusing. So an example of this is that we only help agencies. We don't help chiropractors. We don't clean roofs. We don't do all these things. So because we only help one type of person, one type of business, we can get really good at it and solve additional problems. Like, oh, we're getting all these bookings, but they're not selling. Okay, let me help them place a closer. Let me help them train their team. All these things. So when you work with one type of person and you specialize and you only do that one thing, you're going to notice smaller problems. And when you solve them, it allows you to raise your prices, provide more value, and then obviously get paid more in the long run. So you end up getting paid more to do less work while getting better results and having an easier time selling. Sounds like a no-brainer to me. So these are obviously the things. This is like part 1 of like 20 for the things that we implement for our partners now, just building the offer. This is really the foundation of everything. So if you have this sorted, you'll be great, right? You have an easier time with every single thing. But if you don't have it sorted, then you're going to have an exponentially more difficult time in business for the rest of your life. So no pressure, but make sure this gets solved. And practically, what this involves, just so I can leave you on a more clear note, is pick a clear niche, right? Pick a clear niche. And what this looks like is choosing to work with one type of person. And if you already have existing case studies, what we always recommend for our partners right now is if you had a decent time working in that industry and you got great results, pick your best case study and just use that one and base your ideal customer off of that results, right? So if you helped an e-commerce brand in the fashion niche to increase their revenue by 300K, go after e-com brands in the fashion niche at that size, and you will do significantly better than any other one. So start with that, then create your offer around that. I have other videos on how to do that. And then in the subsequent videos that I put out, I'll show you how you can leverage this in the future. So hope you found this useful. If you want some more information on what we do, you can just check the link in the description. Otherwise, talk to you soon.